Hi, everybody, and welcome back to installment number 2 of SPTV Live from your host, Apostate Alex, here in the UK, bringing you more news as to the government infiltration that has happened at the hands of the Church of Scientology here in the UK. Hello to everybody who's joined in the chat. Mark the Dorset SP is here. How you doing, buddy? Jeff Beaumont, what are you doing here, buddy? What are you doing? Just trying to steal that clout from me? Thanks for joining and congrats on your recent subscriber milestone. That's awesome. Go and check out PTS for Life, everyone, if you haven't already. Data Law, how's it going? And Salty Beach Girl Laurie, welcome. Finally making a live, first one in forever. Yes, I haven't seen you around for a while, so thank you for joining. This one, we're going to get into the weeds a little bit. We're going to delve into some emails that I've uncovered through a Freedom of Information Act request. So stick with us. We are here for a ride. Please hit the like button, subscribe, make sure you turn the bell to all notifications so you get notifications whenever I go live. Let's delve in. So this is about an article I published on Scientology Business. Here is the article itself. Internal emails reveal Scientology's recent meddling in local government. It was written by Tony Ortega for my website. I asked him to do that. I sent him some emails and FOIs and such, and he very kindly wrote this up for us. And we're going to delve into the weeds of the emails behind that article that show that the local government were indeed trying to meddle with our protest in November. Now, the key perpetrator here is a man by the name of Dick Sweatman. This is Councillor Dick Sweatman. This is the Mid Sussex District Council website. This is his profile, 100% his real name. Scientology have Dick on speed dial when Janet needs it. She just has to press and hold 1, dial for Dick, and Dick will get involved. And that is exactly what he's done. And this is the evidence that we're going to be talking about and showing today. Now, to give you guys a bit of context, for those of you, in fact, I imagine everybody knows already, in November, I organised a protest outside St. Hill, the UK headquarters of the Church of Scientology, to coincide with their IES event, International Association of Scientologists. Jeff, PTS for Life, flew over from Canada to be there. It was the largest protest in the UK against Scientology for about 15 years, since the Anonymous protest, the Anonymous movement in 2008, I think that was. So big deal. It was a great event. There was a really good turnout, and there was a lot of prep work beforehand and of course afterwards. So what we're doing now is delving into some of the information that I've revealed through an FOI request or FOI requests that I submitted after the protest. Now, one of the things that we wanted to do was close the road so that we could march in the road peacefully and safely without traffic passing by. When I first found out the IES event was happening, I immediately emailed the council and requested to close the road. Now, their response was, what event, right? Because we're saying we were protesting the IS event. The council had no idea it was happening. Now, as per the premises license St. Hill have, Scientology have to give 6 weeks notice of a large gathering that they're holding on their premises. Turns out they didn't do that. And these are all the emails relating to that whole time that I can now reveal to you. I think it also demonstrates how much hard work this was to pull off and how much work I'm still putting into it now. So any of those doubters out there questioning how much time I'm spending putting into this and, you know, what's on YouTube, what is in YouTube, this actually shows the amount of back and forth that goes on behind the scenes with the activism work that I'm doing, because these are sort of emails that I haven't been able to share until now because it was, you know, protected by the fact that, you know, I didn't want to share them at the time and give up our plans. You know, I wanted to get the event out of the way, and now we've got the responses that we can share because of this FOI. So let's go through them all. On the 11th of October, I emailed the council. Let me find the right window to share. Road closure internal emails here. Okay, so on the 11th of October, I emailed Mid Sussex District Council. Now, one thing to note as well, so far we've been talking mostly about East Grinstead Town Council. Now, this is actually an issue with the next level up of government. This is Mid Sussex District Council. So for those of you not familiar with the British local government system, Town Council is kind of like a city council. They look after just East Grinstead. Then above them, you have Mid Sussex District Council, who are responsible for a smaller area in in and around that kind of place of East Grinstead. Above them, you have West Sussex County Council, which look after the entire larger area. And then above that, you have the local government, the sort of main government of Westminster, that's the top tier. This is Mid Sussex District Council. It's the next level up from East Grinstead. And this is why it's a problem that we need to tackle with East Grinstead Town Council, because it shows the effect of Scientology infiltration going deeper and deeper into higher levels of government. And it all starts with the Town Council. So this is Mid Sussex District Council, the next level up. This is the email I sent on the 11th of October. I recently spoke to one of your colleagues on the phone who advised me to email asking for a TTRO regarding a demonstration march being organised 3rd of November. So TTRO is Temporary Traffic Restriction Order. That's how you close a road in the area. But unfortunately, because you have to give 6 weeks notice, we were not able to do that. So I was advised to then do TPCA, which is a Town Planning and Control Authority, or Town Planning and Country Act, I think is what it stands for. That basically allows a different authority to temporarily close a road. I gave the details of the plan of the march. This is what we plan to do, and this is the route that we want to take. Please, could you advise on whether the TPCA would be necessary for us to march in the road? I wonder if it would be possible to avoid disturbance by a full road closure, if it would be possible to pause traffic temporarily and have them slowly follow us, or whether we could perhaps march on one side of the road, allowing traffic to pass with assistance from police and or traffic management volunteers. So I was giving them different opportunity, like different ways of doing it here, different options. I was saying, look, we don't want to cause a disturbance to the local community. We just want to be able to march in the road for a short period of time. Here's the options. Can you help us? So then I got an email back saying, please, can you confirm the nature of the demonstration, approximate numbers, and so on. And this is where I replied. At the time, we had 26 people planning to go. Learning about Nightlife, MCIM. MCIM is member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing. It's initials that I have after my name, after getting recognized by the Chartered Institute of Marketing for my work that I do. So MCIM are post-nominal letters you can only get if you're recognized by the Chartered Institute of Marketing. So I updated them, 26 people at the time. Now, one thing to note is I had a form when people were interested in if they wanted to come to the protest. I had a form saying, who are you? Would you like to come? What are your details? And the reason for that form is because I knew, being a marketing person, the sort of information I'm going to have to give people, like the authorities, in order to get the approvals needed. So asking how many people are going to attend, I wouldn't have any way of answering that question without a form. So that's the reason I had the form. And it was really, really useful to be able to give them information, and the police as well. There was lots of back and forth. They were concerned that the riot, it was going to turn into a riot, and it was going to be dangerous, and it's going to be loads of people who have a grudge against Scientology. So by being able to say, look, I've got a form here that 100 people have filled out, 90% of them are not former Scientologists, they're just concerned local members of the community, that gave us more credence and ability to hold the protest, which is why we had the form. And it turns out that was really beneficial, as you can see here. Now, what transpires is some internal emails that went on between different members of Mid Sussex District Council, employees, workers for the council. So this is an email from Nigel, who works in Sussex, sending it to someone called Paul Collard, who's the guy that I was liaising with mostly. Or no, sorry, that Nigel was liaising with. Hi, Paul. The demonstration situation has escalated. I have received calls from Councillor Dick Sweatman, ward member for Herentide, asking how the Church of Scientology can apply for a road closure for an open day. West Sussex County Council events referred him back to me, so I asked him to inform the church to apply for a temporary road closure. Knowing that the planned demonstration is against the church, I can now confirm the date and times are the same. I have not received a closure application from the demonstrators, having asked them to contact the county. I also spoke to you regarding possible Sussex police involvement. I require help on this one, as firstly, there's not much time to process the application, and secondly, there is a possibility of public disturbance. So what this is showing here is I put in my application to close the road, and within hours, the Church of Scientology had contacted their buddy, Councillor Dick Sweatman and called them up and said, "Hey, we've got an issue here. Someone's trying to close the road for a protest. Can you sort it for us? How can we close the road so that they can't do their protest?" The councillor, Dick Sweatman, has then called up and spoken to Mid Sussex District Council and said, "Hey, the church have asked how they can close the road," making no mention of the protest. How can they close the road? Because they've got an open day. So they wanted to submit a separate application so that for the only reason that we couldn't then close the road, they could close the road and bar a sentry, and that means our protest would have not been able to happen. So it's interesting here that the church, sorry, haven't emailed the council. The church have called up their buddy, as I said, speed dial 1 for Dick. They called up Dick, and Dick got involved and asked on behalf of the church how to close the road. That in itself is worrying. Dick Sweatman is not even the councillor responsible for the area in which St Hill is located. Dick Sweatman is a former mayor of East Grinstead. He's now a Mid Sussex district councillor, and he is looking after a completely different area, but he has good ties with Scientology. So the fact that he is asking on behalf of the church how to close the road is worrying in and of itself. The emails then go on, and it's fascinating to look at the back and forth. There's one thing here where Nigel is replying to someone else called Lucy about passing information onto the police and so on. The event itself is on the church's premises, so I think the request for access closure is wise. This was the back and forth we were having about whether people would have access to St Hill or not, and we made it really clear that we weren't trying to restrict people to going onto the property. We just wanted to be able to demonstrate safely. The protesters have also requested a closure, but with a different agenda. The church is familiar with protesters, should allow them access on the closed road, though probably not on their secured property. Key contacts, Janet Laveau and Dick Sweatman. So it's clear here that the two key contacts listed in this internal email from the government, the two key people are Councillor Dick Sweatman and Janet Laveau. So it's really worrying that Dick Sweatman is now being considered internally as a key contact for the Church of Scientology. That just shows he is not an impartial figure. He is, in fact, working for the church in this instance because he's listed here as a key contact. And I don't know what more proof you need that safe pointing is underway. This is another email from Lucy, who's another person who works for the council. Please can you pass some info, blah, blah, blah. In essence, Councillor Dick Sweatman, ward member for Herentide, has asked how the Church of Scientology can apply for a road closure for an open day. On the same day, a protest group have asked for a road closure to allow a march. Please do pass on the information to the police. And it goes on. And obviously, I had lots of goings on with the police and contacts and information being passed around and phone calls and so on to try and sort all of this out. But it's really clear here. Councillor Dick Sweatman, former East Grinstead mayor, is acting on behalf of the Church of Scientology. Now, I'd like to take this moment to just have a little look at this Councillor Dick Sweatman, because this is Scientology's very own website. This is him standing at the podium at an event, the opening of the Narconon Centre in Heathfield in Sussex, and he is quoted as saying the Narconon programme is comprehensive and covers all aspects needed to help a person get back on their feet and teach them the tools to stay on their feet and succeed. This is not just a drug rehab centre delivering a highly successful programme, it is also a training center to enlist Narconon specialists to tackle the drug issue. So Dick Sweatman, who was mayor at the time, is on the Scientology website and is opening the official new Narconon Center. And I'd also like to at this time bring up the article that was published, front page news on Sunday here in the UK on The Observer, The Guardian, of the concerns that have been raised about that very Narconon Centre. Shanti Das, who is a fantastic journalist I've been working with since May, did this piece. It was front page where it's talking about these horrible abuses and trauma that is caused by the Narconon facility in Heathfield. And it goes in depth here with quotes from various former patients or students, as they call them, at Narconon UK, and how the program damaged their mental health permanently, and how there are real concerns here. Now, there's also a picture here, if we scroll down, of Janet Laveau herself. Hi, Janet. She made an appearance at the protest. She is currently the commanding officer of the Office of Special Affairs UK, so COOSA. She is in charge of all of the drug rehab centres, Narconon, you know, the PR image, all this sort of stuff. and also trying to silence and shut down enemies of the church and critics like me and you guys. So Janet Laveau is even mentioned here in this article. So this Narconon Centre is a major concern, and it was indeed opened by Dick Sweatman, who in these emails is very clearly acting on behalf of the Church of Scientology, asking to close the road and disrupt our protest plans. This is why the infiltration, or as I'm calling it, the corruption of East Grinstead and the local government by Scientology is concerning, because this is evidence a councillor, a former mayor, is trying to interrupt our plans to peacefully protest. Now, couple that with the recent news of how the councillor trying to silence and muzzle us from talking about our experiences, and the mayor, Fraser Visser, has reported me for making fake news stories about this whole issue, and these concerns are not real. These concerns are very real, and this is just showing why this is such a key issue. Another thing to look at is the licensing situation. So I've reported previously, St. Hill have a premises license that allows them to host events of up to 7,000 people. One of the conditions of the license is they have to give 6 weeks notice. As I said earlier, they didn't do that. That is a breach of their license conditions. So when I submitted a complaint to Mid Sussex District Council saying they've broken their licensing conditions, they went and did a site visit. They showed up at St. Hill unannounced and spoke to Janet Laveau and said, "Why haven't you given us notice?" Now, these are the emails that I can now reveal went on in the council with regards to that. Excuse me. So, hi Paul, are you aware that the Church of Scientology event at St. Hill Manor, due to be held on the 3rd to 5th of November, visited the site location today, 16th of October, as we had a complaint the event was not going to be held in compliance with their premises license. They are expecting around 6,000 people in attendance on each of those days. That was a lie. I spoke to Janet Laveau on site. Here's her email address. She appears to be the organizer of this particular event. She did say that she had been advised previously of the event, blah, blah, blah. Basically, what Janet Laveau said was that she had submitted notice to other people in the council. Yes, we're going to do this event and so on. And this council worker is emailing another council worker saying, "Hey, Janet Laveau said that she spoke to you and told you that this event was happening." And this council worker has replied, "Hi, John, I wasn't aware of that event. No. I have been given a heads up regarding the protest, which I passed on to Sussex Police. I'll look out for an event notification." So Janet Laveau here has been caught lying to the council. Hi, Paul, that's what I thought. When she said that she had made you aware. This is the first event that she is responsible for. Previously, the notifications came from the DPS. That's the designated premises supervisor. That's the person responsible for the premises license that works for St. Hill. And I think she is not totally sure of what is needed, hence the piecemeal approach in contacting in the different authorities separately. She did say she had a meeting with Inspector Derrick, that's the Chief Superintendent of Sussex Police, who I was liaising with around the time of the protest. I'll contact her today and reiterate the need to submit the event notification. So it's interesting here. Janet Laveau has said, "Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I've not done this before. It's my first time holding this event and being in charge for it." It's a complete lie. Janet Laveau has been the commanding officer of OSA UK for at least 2 decades. Mike Rinder remembers working with her back in 1999 when Scientology were trying to get charity status. I remember working with her when I was at the Church of Scientology London, and they're trying to get religious recognition for their buildings and their wedding status and all this sort of stuff. I remember her in that role 10 years ago. So for her to say it's the first time I've ever done this is a complete lie. And the result of that is Mid Sussex District Council not imposing a £20,000 fine or prison sentence, which is how they should have responded to a breach in the licensing conditions. Instead, they gave her a slap on the wrist and said, "Don't do it again," because they bought her lie that she hadn't done this before. These are internal emails that show what was going on behind the scenes. And there is a bunch more of gold in this stuff that is available on Scientology Business. So please go and check out the article and have a read through and leave a comment on Scientologybusiness.com. I'd be fascinated to know what you guys think. But this is just evidence the infiltration and influence Scientology is holding over the council is not limited to East Grinstead. It goes up several levels of government. And we also need to pay attention to the Member of Parliament, Mims Davies, who I talked about recently, awarded St. Hill a COVID Heroes Award for their fantastic work during the pandemic. That means that their infiltration and influence has gone right up to the national government level, and that is highly concerning. So there's more coming on that, guys. But I wanted to inform you of what was going on, and having a look at these emails and evidence the amount of work that's being put into this and how much I really appreciate your support. So thank you so much for all of that. Learning about life. Is Dick Sweatman's real name Richard? Yeah, his real name is Richard. He has chosen to go by the nickname Dick. He is Richard, but he prefers Dick. So Scientology can speed dial one for Dick when they need it, and Dick will get involved. In fact, I wrote a little parody article about Dick Sweatman that I'm not going to read out now because it's not exactly PG, but I will release it at some point on a parody site, I'm sure, about the penetration of of Dick at the town council level. The final nail will be when staff are directed to not memorialize these things in emails and someone blows the whistle on that directive. Yes, well, we've already seen a little bit of that. We've already seen a lot of covering up and a lot of silencing and them trying to censor the public record and remove the questions that were asked at the council meeting. So they're already doing that, and that is a well-documented thing that's happening. CEO Bill, thank you for the super chat. Janet Laveau, I'm going to let you finish, but David Gaiman was the best UK Guardian's office leader of all time. Well, thank you for the super chat. David Gaiman was indeed in charge of the Guardian's office, which is what then became OSA. And yeah, that's a whole nother video, but thank you for bringing it up. Data Law, thank you for the gifted memberships. I appreciate that. Question from Vault Digger. There should be an email trail from previous years of who liaised with the council with regards to IS event FOI requests. Great idea. I know a lot of that has already been published historically before I came onto the scene. So I would advise you go and have a look at what's already out there. And absolutely, I will be following up on that at some point. But right now, I'm focusing so much on what's going on right now in the council. I just don't have the time for it. So if you want to do that, please email me what you find. If you want to write an article for Scientology Business, I would love that. I want to get more people writing for Scientology Business. So please do feel free to go and do that yourself. And keep me in the loop. So that was it. Just a quick one, guys. I wanted to let you know that Dick Sweatman is meddling. Dick is playing with, or Scientology is playing with Dick and using Dick to get involved with interrupting our protest plans. And this is only just the tip of the iceberg. There's more of this stuff that has been revealed through these FOI requests, and I will keep bringing these stories to you until we get full accountability. When I asked the mayor and when I asked East Grinstead Town Council to hold their hands up and, you know, perhaps meet with me so I can educate them on why this is an important issue, it's stuff like this that I wanted to bring to their attention so they understand why this is so important. They've declined all of those requests. They've tried to muzzle and silence me and silence everyone else that's speaking out, and that is hugely concerning. And I'm just going to keep bringing this to you guys. I'm going to keep working on this and see what happens. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. It is late, so I'm going to jump off now, but I'll keep you in the loop. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. At Scientologybusiness.com, you can subscribe to email notifications every time an article goes out. If you want to support financially, you can buy me a coffee with the link down below. There's also a fundraiser going on at the moment on my wish list for, I want to do a flyer campaign where I print 21,000 flyers and get them distributed through the doors of every single household in a 5-mile radius of St. Hill. That's going to cost £2,500. So if you can contribute towards that on the wish list on Buy Me a Coffee, that would be great. If you want to support me in the channel, just buy me a coffee in the normal way or PayPal, all that sort of stuff. But also don't forget, the best way of supporting is liking, commenting, sharing this so that it gets out to more people. CO Bilf, just a tip indeed. This was just the tip, and there is more Dick to come. There is more of this that I will be reporting on in the coming days. But that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, and I will see you guys very soon.
Hip, hip, cheerio! Scientology's got to go! Hip, hip, cheerio! Scientology's got to go! The abuse has to stop! The abuse has to stop!
There is human trafficking occurring at St. Hill. at this very moment, and it will continue until government agencies step in to stop it.
I'm angry, real angry.